along for the ride.
Hey, all you guys and guyettes, you are about to jump into a barrel of grins with Dave. Adult-oriented comedy stories and tall tales. Politics, not so much, maybe just a little, but not much. Enjoy your ride. Now here's Dave.
Hey, all you bubbas and bubettes, glad to have you with us today, this Saturday, for the Center Line. Going to be a fun show today, and glad you could join us. If you'd like to interact with us, we sure would like to hear from you. Just go to our website, thecenterline48.com. There you can find our email address. You can email us. You can leave us a message there on the website. You can click on our link to YouTube and watch us on YouTube, or watch us directly right there on the website. Or you can send us a text. Our text number is up there. So we'd love to hear from you, your stories, your suggestions, your comments of any kind. We're wide open, so just send them on along, and we'll do with them as best we can. So we'll be back and start this old train a-rolling right after this message. Hi, folks. I want to tell you about a new product that's really, really great. Charlie Ann loves it. We've got one, and she's been using it at the house here for the last few days. It's called the Fried Fly Zapper by the distributors of the now famous Rodeo Ann's horse apples. The Fried Fly Zapper. You're going to love it. It's a laser-powered little handheld unit that you see a fly on the wall, you just point it, and just pull the trigger, and you zap that little sucker, and he becomes just a little smudge on your wall. Same thing if you get the occasional roach or ant or whatever, zap it, poof, a little powder of dust right there on your kitchen counter or your floor, wherever. Anyway, the Fried Fly Zapper. You're going to want to get one. They're great. And they're really good in the garden, too. You know how most pesticides for the garden now are not that discriminate. They will kill off some of the good insects like ladybugs and what have you, as well as the bad bugs. But with the zapper, you can pinpoint that little sucker and just zap him right into the Never Never Land. Good in the garden. Help you keep your garden clean and prosperous, and you're growing some good fruit, vegetables, taters, whatever. But the Fried Fly Zapper, it's the thing you need to have in your repertoire of bug-killing paraphernalia, materials, equipment, handheld items, whatever. But don't take my word for it. Hear from Clarissa. She loves it.
I've been using the Fried Fly Zapper for 2 weeks, and I love it. The zapper nails those pesky house flies in the kitchen. With just one zap, leaves them little suckers, nothing but a powdery smudge on the wall. And with Rodeo Ann's Fried Fly Spray, cleanup is a breeze, and it's kid and pet friendly. It works wonders on the kids' toe jam, just a tingle between their toes. And goodbye toe jam, thanks Rodeo Ann.
Another fine product from Rodeo Ann's. Stuff Incorporated.
Grab your favorite beverage, put your feet up in a relaxed position, sit back and enjoy your ride.
From Dave's World of the Weird, here's Dave.
At first, I hesitated to even bring this up, but then I got to thinking, hell, what the heck? At my age, I can't embarrass myself any more than I've already embarrassed myself over my lifetime. So anyway, here goes. A while back, Charlie Ann and I were cleaning out a cedar chest that I inherited from my mama. And in there, she had a bunch of my old baby clothes and pictures and one thing or another. And she had a rattler, a little baby rattler that had little beads or whatever in it. You'd shake it and it'd rattle. I guess that's why they call it a rattler, right? Anyway, so I was telling Carol Ann, I said, I remember this thing. I remember this little rattler and how I used to suck on it. And so I just took it and I just stuck it in my mouth like I did when I was a year old, maybe, something like that. And bam, I couldn't believe it. It tasted so salty. I just pulled that thing out of my mouth and I said, man, you're not going to believe this. I said, I'm tasting salt. And that had to be salt from the dried saliva of when I was 1 year old still, after over 70 years, being on that rattler. That was weird, folks. That was very, very weird. And that's all I've got to say about it. That was weird.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
You know, I don't know what it would be like to have grown up without Rocky and Bullwinkle in my life somewhere. But, oh man, I love them. I could not wait for them to come on TV. So, oh man, good old Rocky and Bullwinkle. They were a hoot. And Boris Badenoff and Natasha. What are some great characters. And the funny thing about it is that humor was really designed more for an adult or a younger adult. It wasn't designed so much straight for kids. You know, it was, it had that flair of adult humor in it. I don't mean off-colored humor, but just something that was more inclined to be funny to an older person, you know, who could relate. So anyway, but yeah, and old Dudley Do-Right and Nell. What characters, what great voices. But anyway, and you know, you can get Rocky and Bullwinkle, you can stream it, but there's a newer version of it that's just, it's different. It's not like the original from back in the 60s and 60s, 70s, early 70s, 60s, I guess. Anyway, but the original Rocky and Bullwinkle, what a hoot. What a great little show. I love it.
Here's Dave, back in his radio days, as Ted, from the Streakolean Casino.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
What are you up to?
Oh, I tell you what, we just having a big party down here at the Streakolean Casino and Golf Resort in Dexter.
Beautiful.
Oh, man, I tell you what, we had a heck of a week, Howard.
What happened?
Well, we had some big Hollywood producers come down here. They want to do a movie about the Streakolean Casino.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I tell you what, and I told Gilbert, Dean, Dolene, and Bernice, I said, now, when these fellas get down here, we got to wine and dine them and treat them right. And,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
What'd
know.
you do?
Well, Gilbert Dean, he finally come up with a good idea. He said, Ted, he said, you know, these are busy men. They don't like to pussyfoot around. I think we ought to just cut to the chase, forget the wine and dining, and just go straight to the hard liquor.
Yeah.
I said, well, all right, you think that's a good idea? We'll just liquor them all up. Well, it worked because they're going to do a movie down here.
Beautiful.
Anyway, they're going to let us pick the title, too, and I just wanted to run a couple by you and see what you think.
Oh, yeah,
I
great.
had kind of in mind like Barefoot in the Park or From Here to Hayhira or the Maltese Chitlin. I'm not, you know, we just can't make up our mind, but...
I like the Maltese Chitlin. That's one of my. That's good.
Well, mine too. I think that'll stick. You know what I mean? So anyway, we just having a good time. You just
We'll play something good for everybody down there.
Play a real good rowdy Motown tune, just whatever sets your heart free.
I'm feeling rowdy, and we're doing lots of Motown, so we'll make that work, Ted.
All right, thank you.
You're very perceptive.
The acronym WTF, what the, has a couple of different meanings, but it now has a new meaning. WTF is now a supplement that helps you on those days when you just can't figure out what's going on in this world. For example, you're watching TV, you're listening to the news or watching a TV program, and you hear about something and you just find it incredulous, unbelievable, or you just can't figure it out. You may say to yourself, WTF, what the? But now, with the new supplement WTF, you can take one pill in the morning, and when you encounter those unbelievable, unconscionable stories that you hear or see on TV or on the radio, it immediately comes to mind and you understand completely what the exclamation mark. But don't take my word for it as usual. Listen to some of these folks and how WTF has changed their lives.
WTF is great. Yesterday I heard a news report that just blew my mind. But with WTF, I never have to say, what the fuh? I instantly understand and have a rush of the sublime and peaceful.
You know, you just can't go through a day without saying, what the fa, at least a dozen times. Like last night, little Billy showed me his report card. He had a D in comportment. I said, Marge, what the fa is comportment? Having taken a WTF supplement at breakfast, comportment's meaning instantly popped in my head. I always knew my son was a 12-year-old ass wipe. I'm so proud. Thanks WTF.
Not to be used by people who believe in purple rain, wear raspberry berets, and drive little red Corvettes.
Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
This past Wednesday, I dedicated the show to talking about ancient history. And last night, I received a text message from somebody. They call themselves Ruta Bega, R-U-T-A, and then B-A-G-E-R, Ruta Bega. Now, I got a good hunch that they're pulling my leg on the name, but that's okay if they want to use that. That's cute. That's ingenious, innovative. But they said, Dave, don't forget about Genesis 6:4. Genesis 6:4. Well, I got the Bible out and I looked it up and dang, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. In Genesis 6:4, the King James Version anyway, it says in part, there were giants in the earth in those days and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. And if you look at the, I think it's the standard version, I can't remember what they call it, they go into a little more detail. They call the offspring of these folks that came down, angels or what have you, they call them the Nephilim, and they were giants. And there are stories from various groups, ethnic groups around the world back in the day that talk about giants. And it's possible, I guess, that there were giants, 8, 10 feet tall, and they may have been able to do some of the things that we look at and scratch our head at. Well, how were they able to do that? How were they able to lift that or haul this or push that? But it is fascinating, and there's stories from around the world of beings coming down and mating with women. I believe the Anunnaki, the Sumerians, they have a same story, very much like what is in our Bible. And some say that the Bible took that Sumerian story and used it as part of Genesis. So again, who knows? We don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure, but it's kind of fascinating. Yeah, they said that in those days and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, like somebody came down and got together with the earthly women and wrought a super being or a superhuman or whatever, Superman, Batman, who knows? But anyway, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Ruta Bega.
General quarters. Paging Dr. Body, Dr. Selma Body.
Guys, do you miss those carefree days when you used to frequent your favorite titty bar? Well, there is another product from Peckerwood Research, a subsidiary of Peckerwood Industries, which is a United States branch of Peckerwood International, which is a wholly owned division of Peckerwood's global conglomerate. Comes Sleazy Dancers Air Freshener. Sleazy Dancers captures that unique strip club smell. Created from actual aromatics found in the clubs, Sleazy Dancers Spray provides those fragrances you have come to know and love. Concocted from the smells of a smoke-filled room, spilled peach schnapps, Beer, cheap cologne, body sweat, and tuna fish. Sleazy Dancers is the perfect spray for your man cave. Order yours today. Just go to sleazydan.toot. Only $49.99 for a 2-pack of Sleazy Dancers. Must be over 18 to order. Sleazy Dancer cannot be held liable for any adverse reactions or bodily harm from angry wives against your bad self.
It's time now for Dave's News of the Day, brought to you by Zip No Snag. Now here's Dave.
This just in. Buckwheat, you've got some important news, a news flash for us here?
I have some stunning, earth-shaking classified photos. They were classified just for human eyes only.
Well, how were you able to get your hands on them if they were classified?
Since I'm not human, I was able to get them.
Oh, I see. Okay. Human eyes only. And of course, you're not human, so it doesn't apply. Okay. I'll buy that. So what do you got?
Well, Dave, do you remember moon pies?
Yeah. Love moon pies. Yeah. Back in the day, a moon pie and a RC Cola. You couldn't go wrong with that.
I've got proof that moon pies actually come from the moon yays.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Buckwheat. You're trying to tell me that moon pies come from the moon?
Yes, Dave.
No.
I've got the proof. Look at this.
You've got proof, huh? Wow. Wow.
Dave, these first pics were taken by a moon landing crew.
Wow. Wow. Boy, oh boy. Man, is that something? They really come from the moon?
Yes, I have a written explanation that I would like for you to read to everybody. I'm sending it now.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'll read it. I'll read it here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just send it on. Okay. Here's what we've got, folks. Buckwheat wants me to read to you. It seems that moon pies actually are a product manufactured on the moon. And according to Buckwheat, these pictures here show moon pies on the moon. And one of our astronauts, I assume that's one of our astronauts, is walking around harvesting moon pies. So Buckwheat, what do? They harvest the moon pies and then they send them back to Earth here?
That is exactly what he is doing, yes. They send them back to a secret facility in the Mojave Desert.
Well, moon pies have been around long before the space, for our ability to go into outer space and, of course, to go to the moon, long before that, years before.
It was secret.
Oh, I see. They've been keeping it secret from us, yeah. So anyway, folks, it looks like that moon pies come from what?
Secret, Dave, wait.
What is it, Buckwheat?
I also have a picture from Roswell, New Mexico. Remember the Roswell incident?
Yeah, the crash back in what, 1947, 48, I believe it was. Yeah, alien spacecraft.
Yes, Dave, and in the picture you can see moon pies scattered around the crash site.
And there's moon pies scattered around? I got to see this. Show me that picture. Buckwheat, did you Photoshop this?
Absolutely not. It is real.
So what? So you're telling me that space aliens, they go to the moon, they are the transport vehicle for moon pies from the moon to Earth. And this one was bringing a load of moon pies from the moon back to Earth, and it crashed in New Mexico?
Yes, you can see with your own eyes.
Okay, folks. Well, you heard it here first, right here on the center line. Moon pies are from the moon. And Buckwheat has the pictures to prove it.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Thank you, Buckwheat.
You are quite welcome.
What a hoot. What are you going to do with the pictures?
I have contacted Fox News.
I see. You're going to try to sell them to Fox News?
Yeah, buddy.
Good luck. Okay, yeah. I'll look forward to seeing those on Brett Baird tonight. Jeez. Okay, let's get back to the show.
Open the pod bay doors, Dave, and get on with the program.
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
Hi guys, this is John Doe and this is my wife Dill.
Hi!
Fellas, you know what it's like. It's the 2-minute warning, and your team is getting ready to kick the game-winning field goal, and you can hold it any longer, so you run to take care of business. You get into too much of a hurry. Next thing you hear is... Never suffer again. Grab a can Zip No Snag. A Zip No Snag is a pocket-sized canister of super cold liquid nitrogen. Just one quick spray on Manland and you're back to the game. That's right, guys. Dell put a can of Zip No Snag in my Christmas stocking. It was a lifesaver during the college playoffs and national championship.
Hi, gals. I know you're tired of hearing that primordial scream. So help your man out by giving him Zip No Snag. It comes in a small pocket-size aerosol. Just a quick spray of super cool Zip No Snag on the affected area, and that sucker will run and hide, just like that. Just go to zipnosnaggerini.com or call 888-445-56. Just $9.99 for one can or $39.99 for a 6-pack. And like John said, put that sucker back in the barn where it belongs.
Not for use by Ohio State fans. They never have this problem. Another fine product of rectal research.
Paging Dr. Butts, Dr. Buster Butts.
Well, folks, I got to get out of here. It's been fun. Glad to have you along on the ride with us today on the center line. And just remember, whatever else you do today, in the words of my good old friend Ludlow Porch, you find somebody to be nice to. Charlie Ann, sing us out of here, babe.
Where, oh, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and I thought I found true love. You met another and you was gone.
Bye, y'all. Have a great day. You have been on the Center Line with Dave. Join Dave every Wednesday and Saturday. You can contact Dave through his website, thecenterline48.com. There you can email Dave or post a message. You can also find Dave on YouTube. Just type in the Center Line with Dave. For Dave and Charlie Ann, thanks for listening. I'm Buckwheat J. Furtwangler. Have a great day. Yabba dabba doo.
The Center Line with Dave is a copyrighted production, all rights reserved. Remember, there are 2 places you can get your leg pulled. Your chiropractor's office and right here on the Center Line with Dave.